In this module, we're going to be discussing makeup design in preparation for a makeup project we'll have for the Miracle Worker in class. Makeup is generally used on stage or on screen to enhance an actor's face so that the face that they normally have will be seen. Normal stage and film lights bleed out the natural colors. Therefore, makeup is needed just to be able to see the actor in a normal light. We also use makeup to change actors so that they more fully fit the character which they're playing. And sometimes makeup is meant to totally change the look of the actor to accomplish the character. Makeup designers start like other designers and begin with script analysis and a script outline in which they specifically look for descriptions such as those at the beginning of a script that might define character and talk about age and other determining characteristics. They also then read script and pull out information to find lines or other descriptions that will help in defining the characters. Next, the makeup designer does a character breakdown to get an idea of where all the characters are throughout the run of the show. This is much like the costume designer. A show can be as simple as this, or it can become much more involved if we get into a show that has a lot more characters and a lot more scenes, particularly if some of those actors are playing multiple characters. Then eventually the makeup designer will create a makeup plot in which each of the characters are defined in the acts and scene in which they appear, and a description is made of the character makeup, hair, other things that'll have to be achieved to create the characters for each of those moments in the play. Next, the makeup designer will go into research. First of all, there is research that would define simply what characters looked like in the different periods of time in which plays take place and in various cultures. There's also research in how people applied makeup within the period in which they lived. This needs to be simulated on stage, probably not using the exact same makeups these people may have used, but simulating them as much as possible for historical accuracy. Next, the makeup designer will do research in how the makeup can be applied. Obviously, makeup designers are going to take makeup classes, but there are many books available that talk about specialty kinds of makeups and specifically go into application of makeup for special effects. The beginning place for the actual design is the photo of an actor. Once the makeup artist has the actor's face and gets an idea of what the actor looks like, it can then be determined through sketches of how the hair might be changed, how shapes of features on the face might be changed to achieve the finished look of what the character needs to be for the project. Often, the designer will begin with costume sketches from the costume designer because characters are denoted and often facial and hair definitions are given in the costume sketch. In the world of theater, makeup is usually under the costume design, and in film, it might depend entirely on what the needs of the film are, whether or not the makeup design might be a very separate design not considered in the costume design. Once the designer has the costume sketch, they will most typically do some sort of a makeup design in which they show some of the character shaping, some of the character contours, some of the colors that might be used to achieve the effect. Here are some sketches. for the Magic Flute at the top and for a production of Tartuffe at the bottom. All of these were meant to be used by the actors to achieve the finished look on stage. Often the designer has to consider the size of stage, how far the makeup has to extend into its audience, and the combination of the makeup and the costume help complete the character. Here's some examples of student work in the classroom in which actors have defined characters, done analysis, and determined the makeup design based on their research and their analysis. In some of these, they're using waxes or putties to develop ears and noses. In other cases, we may have to go to full prosthetic makeup, artificial applications to the face, and artificial hair to complete the look of the design. To complete the design, there are various forms on which the designer can draw the character design, all with the intent of coming up with a sketch that shows the actor where different colors need to be laid in and a description of what colors and what different appliances or other effects need to be added to complete the character. This is often used even in the world of glamour makeup for film and for photography work, in which there is a subtle sketch made to help show how the makeup can be applied for full effect. Another example. There are different kinds of makeup. We have names for them. The most typical makeup is corrective makeup, in which makeup is simply applied to enhance the look of the actor and perhaps correct some physical flaws. If the lips are not strong enough or if the shape of the eyebrow is not exactly right, the makeup can be used to help emphasize or change and enhance that look. Makeup can also be used for glamour purposes, in capturing certain high fashion looks. It can also be used to create the proper age for an actor. Here's an idea of a grease makeup being used to denote age for this character. And different kind of makeup used in film that is not as theatrical in the way it actually adds dimension and texture to the face. All of these are used to help enhance the final look on stage or on screen. And sometimes for great effect. There are certain characters that we know today that were actually created in the makeup room for a look that the costume helped capture, perhaps a little bit of the lighting, perhaps some of the set design, but mainly the makeup helped capture these characters and helps solidify them in the memory of their audience. Here are various before and afters for some actors and the makeup that was applied to them. Some with quite startling effects. And some such to a degree that it's even hard to see the actor underneath the makeup. Some of these makeups have become legendary, and we identify these characters more by their makeup than by the actor beneath. Makeup design.